Mission Impossible Fallout is now the 6th installment in the Mission Impossible franchise, and it sees the return of director Christopher McQuarrie from Rogue Nation, and it once again stars Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt. And after losing some plutonium, he has to go out into the world and get that plutonium back before some bad guys do something horrible with it. And joining him is his crew of Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames once again. And since he has now lost his plutonium, the CIA is a little bit wary of Ethan Hunt. They have Henry Cavill to go follow Ethan Hunt around to make sure nothing bad happens and help him along the way. And on this adventure, Ethan Hunt finds friends and foes that we have met in previous installments. Now, I'm a huge rising fan of the Mission Impossible franchise, in which I'm not a huge fan of the first two. I think the third is a great, mediocre, good action movie, and I'm a huge fan of the fourth and the fifth. And after some time to process, I would say that fifth one, Rogue Nation, is my favorite in the Mission Impossible franchise. And I think this is mainly parts of Christopher McQuarrie and the style that he brought to that installment. And since he's returning for the sixth one, I was so hyped for this movie, and I loved what he brought to this movie. I love what everyone brought to this movie, and yet there's some new things that do bother me about this movie. Just to start off, the action in this movie is unbelievable. Tom Cruise in this movie is amazing. It's Tom Cruise. All of his action stuff, no matter what you would say about him as a person or his previous not good movies, The Mummy, he kicks butt whenever he does an action stunt, and in this movie he continues that. Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt is once again brilliant. All of his action stuff, he does all of his own stunts, whether it's skydiving out of a plane, climbing up a helicopter, or flying a helicopter by himself. Tom Cruise does it all. He brings it all to this movie, and it shows, because this is a phenomenally action-packed movie that is mainly due to Tom Cruise bringing it all. I love Tom Cruise in this movie. He's very charismatic, and I loved a lot of the cast as well. A lot of their returning characters in this movie, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Alec Baldwin, I love to see them again. I love to see them playing with Tom Cruise. They're all very funny, they're all very charismatic, and I love that they're back. And even some of the new people, Henry Cavill, I thought that he brought a lot to this movie. I didn't know what they were going to do with this character, and while I did know what they were going to do with this character midway, I was very surprised at what he brought to his performance and what he did with the action scenes in Tom Cruise. Because when you have Tom Cruise, the prime action star of this era, Henry Cavill brought his own, and I was really satisfied watching him just do cool action stuff in scenes with Tom Cruise, and I thought he was really good. And this movie is also nearly 2.5 hours, and most times I would say that you would have to cut out like a big portion of the movie because it was kind of slow. This movie is never slow. Granted, I do think the last hour of the movie is much quicker than the first hour and a half of this movie after a revelation happens, but I do think overall, with all the sporadic action scenes within this movie, that it is so fast-paced, and I was certainly surprised about that. Maybe I can say you can cut out like 10 or 5 minutes, or maybe that's just because I really had to go to the bathroom by the end of the movie, but for majority of the movie, this is such a fast-paced movie, and I think that's mainly because of the action scenes that are so energetic, and they're just so jaw-dropping amazing because of how the craft is, because these are such well-crafted action scenes, and I really have to give that props to Christopher McQuarrie, because once again, he does bring his own unique style into this movie like he did in Rogue Nation, yet I don't think that it's the style that I would have wanted in a Mission Impossible film. As I kind of hinted at earlier, the last hour of the movie is so action-paced, but the first hour and a half movie is a little bit somber, because Mission Impossible Fallout is more of a downer, somber, realistic film, and some of that does have to deal with more sad, more emotional elements of the character for Ethan Hunt, and even some of the morality of should he kill, should he not kill. And I think that while I do appreciate a new added layer to his character and the film as a whole in this franchise, I don't think in the moment of watching certain scenes that it fit very well, because you would have such a fast-paced moments because of the action, and then the movie really slows down into something that isn't as fun or energetic as the action scenes. I know some movies can do this very well, I just don't think Fallout did it as well as maybe I thought it would, because especially unless I didn't pick something up, I feel like a lot of the emotional morality questions that the movie has in the first half of the movie doesn't really lead to any conclusion in the end. It's just something new that's in the first half, and then we have amazing action scenes in the last hour of the movie, which I'm totally okay with. I just don't think a lot of the emotional morality elements of the movie, while cool and interesting for this new installment, didn't really flow well for those parts of the movie, but I did appreciate it for this new installment as a whole. And this is a spy movie, and Mission Impossible Fallout does the typical spy movie stuff of, oh, is this person good or bad? Oh, this person's bad. Oh, they're bad. Oh, they're actually good. Oh, what team is that person on? I've seen it all before, and this movie does it a lot, and I was just not into whenever they were doing that, because one, as I said, I've seen it before, and two, I just thought it was kind of confusing, and I didn't know, oh, are we supposed to like that character, and how it really flows for the rest of the movie. But it doesn't really matter, because if we ever have a confusing moment like that, it just goes right into a fast-paced action scene, which I absolutely loved. But yeah, Mission Impossible Fallout, it once again delivers great action, especially because of Tom Cruise and the director Christopher McQuarrie, who brought great style in Rogue Nation. After seeing Fallout, I think I probably like Rogue Nation more, because I thought it was more consistent flowing action scenes into the actual plot of the movie. But I did think that he brought a unique style and themes to this movie. I just don't don't think they were played out as well as he thought they would be, but this is still a very energetic movie. I absolutely love the cast. I think this is another highly worthy installment for the Mission Impossible franchise, so I can say that Mission Impossible Fallout is a great movie. So that's Mission Impossible Fallout. What do you guys think? Have you seen the movie? Have you not seen the movie? Whatever you think, put the comments below and maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. Thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't, you click my last video right over here, and you can click my upcoming video right over here. Thank you as always for watching, and hope to see you next time.